Good day to all our viewers out there. My name is Heinrich Neetling and welcome to Mathematical Literacy. In our lesson today, we'll focus on maps and plans, but more specifically on maps. Now let me share something interesting with you. Did you know that some common features of maps include scale, symbols, and grids? Also, all maps are scale models of reality. And lastly, a map's scale indicates the relationship between the distances on the map and the actual distances on Earth. Now, I found that quite interesting. Let me look at our lesson objectives. So, by the end of this lesson, you should be able to, first of all, describe the relative position of an object in relation to the surrounding objects. Also, find locations, follow direction, and explain or develop directions for traveling between two or more locations. Also important, you must be able to interpret compass direction and use the compass to give and follow directions. Also important is you must use directional indicators to provide and follow instructions. And then calculate actual length or distance on the map using either a bar scale or a number scale. Then you must be able to work with different types of maps. So that is our lesson objectives. Now let us quickly look at our concept map. As I've indicated, our focus today is on maps, and we look at explanation as well as some examples. Now let's quickly look at some terminology, right? So first of all, I indicated here, a map is a two-dimensional representation of an area of the Earth's surface. For example, a map of a country. Then a plan. Now a plan is a more detailed, right, representation of a smaller area, often showing landmarks or objects. For example, a cinema seating plan, a house plan, etc. Okay, so then we can also differentiate between two types of scale. Your small scale map, that shows large areas, right, of land in relatively small image. Right, for example, if you look at a regional or a global map, scale that we normally use here is 1:10 million, for example. Then on the other hand, we have what we call a large scale map. Now, a large scale map shows smaller areas in more detail. Right? For example, a street map. Here we'll use a scale of 1:50,000, for example. Now let's quickly test our knowledge at this moment in time. So let's see how well you have listened. So the first question here says, define the term map. All right. So I said when I started that a map is a two-dimensional, right, a 2D representation, right, of an area, right, of the Earth, the surface area of the Earth, right, okay, of the surface area or the surface of the Earth, right? So important to note, it's a two-dimensional representation of an area of land of the surface area of the Earth. Okay, like I indicated, example, a map of a country. Now, second question, it says, state whether the following statement is true or false. Let's see what is our statement. It says a small scale map shows large area of land in a relatively small image. Now that is indeed true, right? A small scale map shows large areas in a relatively small image. Then our next question, question number 3. 1:20,000 is called a, that's correct. This is called a number scale. There we have it, quite straightforward. Right, let's look at other important information and explanations. Right, it says here, the Earth has been divided into 4 compass directions. As you can see on our right-hand side, there's the 4 main compass directions, north, south, east, and west. Right, this is also known as your cardinal points. Okay, and I've indicated the 4 already. That's north, south, east, and west. Then these 4 compass directions have been further divided in, for greater accuracy, right? So that will then be your northeast, southeast, southwest, and northwest. Okay, so that we started off with our 4 main cardinal points, and we look at the subdivision of each one. I want you to be familiar with this because when we work with maps, this is so crucial in answering questions. Other important terminology. First up, I indicated this already, a map is a 2-dimensional representation of an area of the Earth's surface, right? For example, a map of a country. Then 2-dimensional plans, it's a plan or a design having length and width, right? The 2 dimensions, but possibly representing 3-dimensional objects. Then elevation map, right? Information about the profile of a route as seen from the side. This will normally indicate height above sea level, very important to note, and corresponding distance. Then lastly here, I indicated that a highway, right, is a major road that links major cities with one another. Also important to know is that a national road map shows major roads linking major cities to each other. Then a route map shows a specific route. For instance, an event seen from above, right? And then we'll also look at a street map. That's a map of a small area, such as a town or a city. And then lastly, I indicated that a strip map, or a strip chart for that matter, is a linear map not drawn to scale, which represent the approximate distances between major towns along a main road. So that's the important words that we want to look at. Also important is a distance table, right? It's a table which indicates the approximate distances between different towns. Then a transport map is a map which indicates transport routes, right, that either a bus, a taxi, a train takes, together with its stops to pick up or drop off passengers along the route. Then relative position, right, it is used to describe a person's position or direction in relation to a particular landmark. So those are the important terminology that will be used as we move along. Guys, let us quickly take a short break. After the break, we'll put all of this into context. See you now.